I didn't go to college to become an art historian. I went to college to become a high school English teacher. And I took an art history class my first semester of college, and it was, the survey, the typical art history survey. And it was from the Renaissance to the modern. And that was how I became interested in art history. And I started taking some more classes. And then I eventually decided that that was what I wanted to do. I came to Penn State to do my graduate work, partly on the recommendation of my undergraduate advisor. I obviously applied to more than one graduate program, but when I got the responses back and I came here, I realized pretty quickly that I'd made the right decision. The opportunities here to teach for graduate students were actually pretty great. I had a fairly substantial record of teaching by the time I had finished and went on to the job market. The faculty not only expect a high level of research, but they also demonstrate in their own work what it means to be a committed scholar and a researcher. And so you have something to aspire to, but you also have an example of how it can be done. And the department here, I think, really excels at teaching both of those things simultaneously. The value and the importance of teaching, and also what it means to be a committed scholar and researcher. To sort of strike that balance is really useful because you don't really know when you go into the job market if you're going to end up in a place that requires more teaching or more research or whatever. So it's important to have both of those skills. Art touches on so many different aspects of human culture and society and history and civilization. Art historians get to dabble in all these different ideas. You can't talk about Egyptian art without talking about Egyptian religion. You can't talk about Greek art without talking about Greek politics. You can't talk about Renaissance art without talking about the emergence of what is essentially, modern capitalist systems. So the history of art really has this chance, by using art as its main vehicle, right, the thing that it discusses the most, to really talk about the history of humanity in general. Because the study of art history does touch on so many different things, it allows for a student, it encourages a student, requires a student in some ways, to assemble a broad knowledge of humanistic disciplines. It really encourages you to think critically and to be able to conduct research on your own, skills that are, I think, transferable to pretty much any discipline.